Alright, what's going on, guys? Cole aka Proximitty here, bringing you a brand new video today. I am going to be going down a different path on this video. It's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be a real talk video. If you're new to my channel, you might not have heard of these before. If you're not new, then you might have already known it. You might be a big fan. But basically, I take this time to talk about some more serious topics, just things that are on my mind that I want to talk about. And this one, it's going to be guilt. Now, this is like a personal guilt thing. And it's just the way I view certain things. And you guys might think this is a little bit silly, and some of you guys might, even think this is just weird. But basically, I just want to talk about my Patreon and my Patreon supporters. So if you don't know, I have a Patreon, and it is absolutely huge on keeping my channel afloat right now, and it's very helpful. And I really appreciate everybody that is a patron and has supported me in the past, whether or not you are currently a patron or you were a couple months ago. I really appreciate it. It's more helpful than you can imagine. If you guys hear some shuffling around in the background, that's my dog going crazy. She's playing with a toy right now. But basically, so a couple months ago, I made my Patreon because I needed to. YouTube, there was a whole ad strike situation. It's only gotten worse since then. It's still not back up to the way it was. And I was living off of ad revenue from YouTube and then the money that I was getting from Twitch. The money I was getting from YouTube basically disappeared, and for a month I was just struggling, and I started making more videos to compensate for the lack of ad revenue that I was getting, and my numbers were 40% lower than they were even when my views had gone up. Like, my overall views on my channel had gone up, my numbers were up, my revenue was less. So at that point I decided that, okay, maybe I didn't want to have to reach out to Patreon, and I wanted to take matters in my own hands. I tried, and it didn't work. So then I reluctantly made a Patreon, and the reason why I say reluctantly is just because I've never liked asking for money. I never asked my parents for money. That was just never the way I like to do things. I always like to just try to get it myself because I just feel really guilty about it. I feel bad about taking people's money, and especially in this situation where we are now. So that leads me to my point where I personally feel bad because when I made that original Patreon video, I said this was going to be a temporary thing, and I meant that because I thought YouTube was going to get their shit together and fix it. Now, if you guys keep up with anything that's going on with YouTube, you know that not only has the ad revenue not returned, but now they're starting to blacklist certain games, and they are currently cracking down on different titles really hard and making some videos non-advertiser friendly, and it really shits on people's ad revenue, which really hurts people who do this for a living. So for me, example, just my advanced jump tutorial that I did on Fathom the other day, that got demonetized for some reason. So I'm not making any money off that video. And even so, even when I am making money, it's not very much right now because of the ad strike. So I'm struggling there. But then that brings me to my other point. What I'm overall trying to say, which the idea of this video, I guess I should go ahead and say this, is that I feel bad for the amount of time that I've kept the Patreon alive, and I'm continuing to take the money from the generous people who are willing to, to be a patron. Now, of course, I'm not just completely taking money, because I am, in fact, giving back in some regards, whether it be add you on my friends list, or we have the hour private session at the $50 tier. It just all depends. But I'm not just completely taking money, which is one of the reasons that I went with Patreon instead of just being like, hey guys, can you help me out? Just donate me money with nothing in return. But then the biggest thing that comes in return is that I'm supposed to be continually making content on my channel, continually streaming, and other things like that. And so that's the other thing that comes in return of helping me out. And I feel bad because, one, I feel like personally I'd be lying to myself if I said I've been giving YouTube my 100% all effort. And I said this in another video, and I just want to talk about it again because more recently I felt better about how I've been treating YouTube. More so really within this last week, I felt like my content's been the best that it's been in a couple of months, and I feel like I'm putting more effort into it, and I'm having more fun doing it. So I think the overall quality of the content's getting better. My numbers are up this week. I feel like you guys have the same response, and I'm happy about that. And I'm trying to continue to be that way moving forward, and not just, well, I have an obligation to do YouTube, so let me do YouTube. And 100% in the past, I was just doing it because I felt like I needed to. Are you kidding me, dog? Why are you barking? I don't even know. She doesn't bark ever, but she barks when I'm live comming, of course. Well, not live comming. This is whatever. All right, let's keep going. I was doing it because it was an obligation. I did it because, one, I didn't want my channel to die because I do love YouTube, and then two, because you guys do want to see videos, and it's actually funny. A few people were saying like, you hardly ever upload anymore, when really the longest I would wait in between uploads was 3 days, which isn't really very long compared to most YouTubers, but compared to my standard that I had prior to this, that was pretty long, because I used to upload almost every single day for the longest time. And in fact, since I started taking my channel seriously in November of 2015, the longest gap in between videos I've ever had since then has been 6 days. And that's because I was out of town, and I even made a video telling people it was going to be that long. So I set a standard so high for myself because I had such a drive and such a passion that whenever that's not there, you guys quickly notice. And that is what I feel guilty about, because I feel like I'm taking the money, and I don't feel right about taking the money as it is. But then I also think that I feel weird knowing that I wasn't always putting in my best effort. But recently I've been doing that, and I want to continue to do better. On the topic of Twitch, I'm still getting money from Twitch, and I'm still getting a decent amount of money. However, I can't seem to get my sub count to grow on Twitch. I don't know what the deal is. I try to put in as many hours as I can. A couple weeks ago, for like 2 weeks straight, I was rocking like 9-hour streams a day, and I still just didn't see my subscriber count rise. I've been trying to hit 125 subs for a while now, and the most I've gotten was 117 at one point. But really, I hang around the 100 subscriber mark. I don't know exactly what the deal is. I don't know if I'm doing something wrong. All my streamer friends are hitting awesome milestones, like 200 subs and stuff like that, and I'm really happy for them. I have no ill will towards them. I just want to get there too, So I'm not sure. I'm trying to get my numbers up, and that's the big point of this video. I want to continue to grind YouTube, do better. I want to do better on Twitch and continue to grow, so then I can no longer have to have Patreon necessary, so then I can feel better, because overall I do feel guilty, and I feel like some of you guys might have the idea that I'm just trying to take your money and run with it, and I hate that anybody would have that impression, though I understand why that would happen, and I just want to, I don't want it to be necessary, because I feel bad. But again, I want to thank you guys who do support me on Patreon. And I know, like I said at the beginning of this video, some of you guys might think this is weird. Like, why am I talking about this? But I've always wanted to be open with you guys, because at the end of the day, I'm just a normal person. Some people, I know some of you guys look at me and like, yeah, that's a normal guy with a YouTube channel. Some people look at me as like, oh, you're this crazy, but it's like, no, I'm just a dude who has a YouTube channel, and thankfully I have an audience, and you guys are awesome. I'm just a normal guy, though, and personally, I've never felt right about taking money from people. And right now it's necessary. If it weren't, like I said, I would take Patreon down. Unless you guys really liked Patreon, because of some of the things like the private session, I know a lot of people really enjoy. If that were the case, then I would probably keep it, just because I know people like it. But I don't know, man. I just want you guys to know that I'm trying. Like I said, I'd be lying if I said I was trying my hardest this entire time, because that's not true. I was about a month ago, I was extremely demotivated or unmotivated, or however you want to say that, with YouTube, and I'm trying to turn that around. I feel like more recently I have, and I'm trying to do better. I'm trying to embrace this awesome opportunity that I really have, and I want to continue to improve. I want to hit that 20K subscriber mark. I want to hit bigger numbers than that. I want to hit 100K. That's my huge goal. I'm just trying to do better. And with Twitch, hopefully I can get my sub count up, man. I don't know what the deal is. I just can't. But I'm going to keep on grinding. That's the only thing I can do. So thanks to anybody that heard this out and listened to what I had to say. I really appreciate it, guys. And thanks to all my patrons once again. Much love, everybody. I'll see you guys in the next one.